Hi, folks. This is Daniela Cambone, and welcome back to StansberryInvestor.com. Before we start today's segment, though, I want to just share with you a report that Stansberry Research has put out that I highly recommend you check out. With most investors going about life investing and retirement planning as if nothing unusual has happened to our financial system, not realizing the repercussions of the 11 trillion that's been pumped into the US financial system in the past 18 months alone, it's particularly a good read at this moment in time. At least 4 billionaires have stated publicly that Americans aren't paying enough attention to this development. And now a former Goldman Sachs banker says sooner than most people think, millions of Americans will potentially be pushed down out of the middle class, out of private retirement, and out of a decent life based on independence and privacy into a collectivist nightmare he calls financial lockdown. So find out how to protect yourself, your money, and your family with a free copy of his new report. In it, he'll show you the 4 steps he recommends you take immediately. You simply have to go to www.wakeupcall2021.com to get a free copy of this report. Again, it's www.wakeupcall2021.com. Get your free report today. It's a great read. All right, that said, today we are talking JP Morgan coming out saying that Ethereum is now a better investment than Bitcoin. We want to get Frank Holmes' thoughts today on this. He is the founder of US Global Investors. He's also the chairman of HIVE Blockchain. Frank, welcome back. Good to see you.
And HIVE Blockchain was the first crypto mining company ever to go public.
There you go.
The first thing we ever mined was in Iceland, was Ethereum.
I was there.
And you were.
I was there.
Lots of fun on that chopper ride where we saw the earth open up. Wasn't that incredible? And
I don't know if I'll ever go on another chopper ride, but it was a once in a lifetime experience. And I thank you for that.
And we are the biggest crypto mining Ethereum like facilities. We have 20 megawatts in Sweden going to 30. Recently, we purchased over $40 million of, and more to come, NVIDIA equipment. So that we have the ability to go to high performance computing in addition to mining Ethereum. Ethereum is the backbone to the Internet of Things. If you think of the Internet of blockchain, new products, like new concepts, the stable coin that JP Morgan uses, its basic structure is Ethereum. DeFi is based on the Ethereum protocol, the majority of it. And now what's on fire are NFTs. And that's why we did a deal with Network Media. We did a deal with DeFi because they're Ethereum. And it's been a great investment. They now have $300 million in Bitcoin assets out of the Nordic countries. Networks Media, well, that's NTE in Vancouver. This is a company that's going to do 20 million in revenue, producing high quality film. They have great content. They have the IP for I Am Bruce Lee, the documentary, and they sell that to Netflix and Muhammad Ali. So all of these things I keep talking about are based on Ethereum. And that's why JP Morgan loves Ethereum.
Right. I get it. I get the whole NFT DeFi story and why that's a plus for Ethereum. What I'm trying to understand more here is in a rising interest rate environment, why would Ethereum be a better hedge than Bitcoin or gold?
Well, because it has more uses. It's also a store of value like Bitcoin is for a huge audience of participants. And it has many more applications with it that are being used. So I think that's where you get the 2 for 1. And the difference is also the structure, the ecosystem of Bitcoin are very much like, which you would know well, a gold bug fanatics. It's almost like a religion, like the Green Party is a religion. These people are religious about it. And they all, both Bitcoin and gold bugs, read from the same Old Testament of history of money printing. It's exactly the same.
Well said. And let me say this. I just think it's interesting because we've been talking about Bitcoin versus gold for so long. Could this be the new debate, Ethereum versus Bitcoin now?
No, I don't think so. I think that Bitcoin is has its own trajectory. It's underperformed on a relative basis to Bitcoin and Dogecoin. These other things have all outperformed everywhere. But I'm still really proud that $1,000 in 2020 when HIVE is worth over 41,000. So that is a good statement that it will move like some of these crypto coins when they start to go parabolic. So I think from that end, we continue to mine Ethereum, but we're really expanding our Bitcoin footprint at HIVE Blockchain. And that's been very important. And that's why today we've got to be the highest revenue generating company on the Vancouver Stock Exchange, most profitable. We'll come with their earnings in the next 10 days. And anyone that follows our press releases, we'll have just an incredible quarter again. So I think our inventory of coins are pushing close to 200 million. So what we do is we hodl that Ethereum and Bitcoin. And that's what's special. And that's why I think Ethereum Bitcoin's universe, you and I have talked about this before, but the conferences I've been attending, I was just in Dubai, and it was all alternative investments, and it was dominated by Bitcoin.
And I just, I've said this to you in the past, like hats off to you for the success of HIVE, Frank. I've said it should be a TED talk on its own of how you really turned around the company. But getting back to, Bitcoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin maximalists who believe you should only hold Bitcoin, Michael Saylor, obviously a bullish Bitcoin buyer, has predicted trillions of dollars will flow into Bitcoin once the US regulators approve the fully fledged Bitcoin ETF, helping Bitcoin to replace gold and become the primary asset index for the Western world. Do you agree?
Well, I don't know if it's going to replace gold, because you really can't wear it unless it looks like gold. When in the Middle East, in Dubai, at the airport, it's spectacular. You can buy 24 karat gold jewelry at the airport and drop it on a weight scale. There's a big part of the world in emerging markets that use gold both for jewelry and store of wealth. So I don't think that that's going to disappear overnight. And you need electricity for Bitcoin to have its functionality.
I asked Rick Rule this. Let me ask you, is Bitcoin digital gold, or is that just good jargon? Fun term to throw around.
I think it's great jargon. I think the person that created the first smart contract, which Ethereum is a smart contract, is the wonderful historian, computer scientist, and a lawyer that people all talk about, Sasbo, and he's written a book on history of destroying of wealth, of money, paper money. And so he wrote the first contract, I think in 98. He created this first, it was called BitGold. So there is something all that weaves into that story.
Let me wrap with this. I mean, we see the momentum, the energy in both the Bitcoin and Ethereum space, obviously by the rallies we've seen, all-time highs keep being made daily here, Frank. Tim Cook coming out saying his interest in cryptocurrencies. So we're now seeing tycoons of Wall Street acceptance of cryptocurrencies. It's okay to come out and say you own Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatnot. So that said, what kind of forecast do you hold for both?
Well, it's Metcalfe's law. And because Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins, and Metcalfe's law says that the price can grow exponentially. And what's happened, and it's continuing to happen by other channels, and what happened was PayPal allowed investors to buy fractions. And then as it went up, they could peel off a piece and buy a new TV or a car. So the idea that Robinhood, you can buy a fraction of, you don't have to pay $68,000, you can pay $680. And now we have the ETF, which allows the general public, even though it's a derivative of a derivative, you can still buy a fraction. And all those allow greater adoption globally. So I think that it could easily be $1 million. It's down the road, might be in the next 10 years. Bitcoin could be $1 million in the next 10 years, sure, with the amount of money printing against that way and the believers around the world.
Let me ask you this. Does Bitcoin at $1 million have to necessarily mean the destruction of the US dollar, or can they both coexist?
They both coexist. They're both going to coexist, absolutely, because the US by that time is going to have its own digital money. And that's what they really want. That's the big push. Every time there's an attack on Bitcoin, Ethereum by governments, is because they're too slow at adopting, because they all want digital money. I believe the most advanced really is China. And as they're pushing this direction, that's why they kicked all the Bitcoin miners out. They do not want any competition.
I want to ask you this, as Frank Holmes, the investor. You mentioned the ETFs, but would you rather be buying, Bitcoin, Ethereum straight up, or the ETF, or both?
Well, I'm so biased because we hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we're very profitable, and we're traded at a cheaper PE ratio than NVIDIA. So I think as a tech stock, we offer virgin coins, which we carry in our balance sheet, and we continue to have them grow every day. So I think I'm very biased, but that's my biased position.
Last question for you. As an American investor, are you better off getting a Bitcoin ETF in Canada, based in Canada, or here in the US?
Oh, in the US, I think it's much easier, better. Tax reporting, liquidity, all those factors. It's really difficult going cross-border with any type of money. And also when you have closed-end ETFs that are, or funds that own Bitcoin or Ethereum. But it's very, very bullish. You have to look at the other part of Ethereum is going to go to proof of stake, and they're trying to get away from proof of work in that process. And all it's done is shrink the supply really rapidly for Ethereum, and people are trying to earn an income on their Ethereum. And that's another thing that's propelling Ethereum higher and higher. So eventually there's going to be no more new mining of Ethereum in 2 years from now. So for us, mine the Ethereum, put it in the bank account because it's going to trade higher, is my thoughts on us.
So let's wrap with this, fill in the blanks here. If you wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin hit 1 million, within this decade, you wouldn't be surprised to see Ethereum hit which price point?
It's 100,000. It's all because the supply is low. Anytime you cap supply and there's a greater adoption, then these prices will grow, as Metcalfe's law suggests, will grow exponentially, and that's what we're witnessing. But there's other real positive news besides the global crypto Bitcoin Ethereum. It's wheels up, and I gotta share with you, you were there for the lunch jets, and the U.S. opened it up for anyone from Europe to be able to fly into America.
That's right. Finally.
And 2 weeks ago, I was in Dubai. It was full going over, half full coming back. I was in Sweden a month ago, same thing. So I think that the airlines industry has another big leg to it.
I just flew home from Vegas. Every flight sold out. You can't get a seat. You really can't. You can't book last minute anymore. Yeah. But you're on fire, Frank. Congrats on for your success. Come back anytime.
Well, I miss you, and I hope the boys are doing well.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll see you soon. And thank you. Thank you for your time, Frank. And thank you all for watching. We'll have much more for you coming your way, so be sure to stay tuned to Stansberry Investor. That's it for me. Thanks for watching.